Jack Sauce, Eric here, and of course you know that means the beer review is back. We're gonna dive right into this one. It's a big one. I'm gonna call it the XL version of the beer review. Usually we just take one beer, we open it up, we geek out about it a little bit, taste it, find out what it tastes like, talk about how it's gonna pair with those delicious smoked meats, right? Well, this one we're gonna try 4 beers, and it's kind of in addition to what we were doing a few weeks ago when we did something called Gozes Are Red from the brewery out in California. If you remember that one, if you follow this at all, Gozes Are Red was a Goza style ale blended with Syrah grapes and then aged in oak fodders, done by the brewery out in California. These guys are amazing, of course. So I sung their praises for like 10 minutes. But it's a fantastic wild fermentation, hybrid beer style, and blending beer and wine in a California brewery just makes sense, right? Well, I wanted to see if they did that here in Chicago, because really this is kind of a new style that is kind of getting popular around the country, and I haven't really tried a lot of them, especially from Chicago breweries. So I set out to look for a Chicago brewery that would do this. I ended up with 4 different beers. 4 beers because I couldn't decide which one. In particular, I have 3 beers coming from one particular brewery that specializes in this hybrid wine and beer style. I'm very, very excited about. And then another beer I threw in there because it's from a great brewery. It's in the idea of this beer wine hybrid, or at least the flavor profiles are, and it's kind of its own category, which we'll talk about last. But the first one, we're gonna dive into the brewery that I found that's really, really fascinating. Listen, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna stumble through this. I'm gonna butcher the name, I'm gonna do it all. Quite frankly, I know nothing about this brewery, okay? I knew a few things about it, but I didn't realize what they were doing, and I'm very excited. This will be the first time I'm trying any of their stuff. It is going to be the, let me see if we can actually get it, because where the name is, Dunyer Fermenta. I'm probably saying that wrong, Dunyer Fermenta, all right? Dunyer is actually a deer in Norse mythology. I don't know much about Norse mythology, but we're doing another Viking brewery, and then Fermenta, obviously fermentation. So this guy, I knew his name, Tyler Davis, and I knew he had done something with the Pilot Project Incubator here in Chicago. What I didn't know, it was like a hardcore hybrid beer brewery that he was planning on opening. So in 2021, he opened this place up on the south side of Chicago in the South Loop, specialized in mixed culture ales, hybrid wine and beer products, if you will, or brews, if you will. Very excited about it, and that's really all I know. So let's get into this. So we talked about it when we did the brewery thing. Why are we starting to blend grape juices or grapes with beer, with barley and whatnot? And well, quite frankly, because you're looking for flavors. And wine grapes bring a ton of flavor to the component. They bring a lot of body, they'll bring acidity, tannic structure, which actually works really well with specific styles of beer, other sort of adjuncts you can have, such as in this particular one from Dunyer Fermenta, which is this Sauvignon Blanc, or Sauvignon Blanc, it's called, Sauvignon Blanc grapes, passion fruit. It's their vineyard ale. We're gonna check this out. Like I said, it is 5% alcohol, Sauvignon Blanc, passion fruit in there. Let's see what it tastes like, right? Sauvignon Blanc, if you're not familiar with it, I'm sure you are. Everybody's had a form of it. It's a very versatile grape. It goes around the world, particularly in France, where I think it's one of the best produced grapes ever. You're gonna get a lot of salinity, you're gonna get minerality, you're gonna get tons of citrus, acidic wines, great for shellfish. When you go to New Zealand, which a lot of people, for a long time, New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs was, you know, the craze as far as white wine goes. Kim Crawford, you've all heard of it. But that's more, once again, you're getting slaty components from that, lots of grapefruit, grassy components. Here in the United States, more tropical fruit. A lot of tropical fruit. You're still getting that acidity and whatnot. And I think that's what we're probably playing with, is more an Americanized version of Sauvignon Blanc with the tropical fruits. I think the acid is going to play great. The passion fruit's going to fit right into it. Let's take a look. Like I said, I'm winging this. I know nothing about these beers. I really shouldn't pour the whole beer, because I'm going to have to do 4 of these. All right, here we go, guys. Let's give this a shot. Tons of that passion fruit hits right away. But what's crazy is you're getting the Sauvignon Blanc behind it. There is a slaty component, grapefruit and tropical notes galore, but that passion fruit takes over. There's kind of a grassy note to it. This is gonna be a really good beer. All right, cheers. I was expecting a ton more body out of this.
Very light, very crisp, very dry, quick finishing beer. Tart. I was expecting sweetness with the passion fruit in there. You're just getting the flavor, and then the wine, the acidity of the wine blends it and brings this dry crispness to it. That's fantastic. I'm gonna just pour this out there. All right, next one we're gonna do from them, I'm gonna give this a shot here. This is their Freya Franc, okay? This is the it's Cabernet Franc, grapes, strawberry all in there. Makes sense to me. All right, let's check this thing out. Sorry, so many things going on. I'm not a good multitasker, apparently. All right, so the Cabernet Franc grape itself is an interesting grape. A grape that's in some of the most sought-after wines in the world. Cheval Blanc from the right bank of Bordeaux. It's Merlot blended with Cab Franc. Chenin is going to be 100% Cabernet Franc. Guys, like some great wines. They make Cabernet Franc in Argentina and Chile. They make it in South Africa, of course, here in the United States. And once again, we're going to stick with the United States flavor profiles, where you're going to get a lot more earth tones, tobacco, brambleberry type notes, a little bit more tannic structure, lots of peppery notes to it, even black and red pepper, a little vegetative quality. That's going to come out of like more of your French Cabernet Francs here in the United States. You're getting specifically out of Washington State is probably where I would say my favorite Cab Francs are coming from here in the States. You're getting a lot more dark berries, the blueberry. You're still getting the black pepper spice. You're getting a little bit of body, a little bit of tannic structure. So I can see those blueberry or the berry flavors working well. The black pepper, the peppery notes to it. A lot of Cab Francs will kick off like a green pepper vibe to it, especially coming out of South Africa. I don't know if that's gonna, or South America, excuse me. I don't know if that's gonna play into this. It's gonna be a very fascinating beer. Let's see what they did with it. Oh man, all this talking, it's foaming up on me. What am I doing? I'm not built for this. Too much pressure. Horrible pour. Just get a little color out of there. Wow, this has a huge nose. Tons of strawberries. Strawberry jam. I'm gonna put a little more in there just to try to see what I can do. It smells like grandma's strawberry jam, no joke. And that's really what I'm getting out of this. Just tons of that. So I have a feeling this is gonna be like the first one, that Sauvignon Blanc that they did, where I'm gonna get hit with all this fruit on the nose, and then that grape juice, the tannins, the acids, they're gonna just dry this out. I wonder if there is gonna be a peppery component. I'm really fascinated by that. Oh man. That one, that's the winner so far. Holy cow, that's good. Wow. So the first one I thought kind of fell a little flat. It was nice, but there wasn't much going on. I was expecting more. This is a complex beer, man. This has, like I said, grandma's strawberry jam on the nose. You are getting that jammy quality in the beer itself, but it's really, there's a tobacco and there is a spicy component. There's a lot of kind of earthiness to it. The tannin, there's definitely a tannin quality to it. It's sucking your mouth dry. If you don't know what tannins are, enzyme in grape skins, you can find that out. Oh, but specifically grape skins, we're gonna get most of it. That dries out your mouth when you drink wine, and you get that like quality, that mouth drying quality. That's what the tannins are doing. Really kind of helps your palate, does a bunch of stuff. We don't have to geek out too much, but this is a fantastic beer, super complex. Strawberry, there's berry notes, tobacco, spice, earth tones, a little bit of that tannic, dry mouth feel. Very crisp, not very effervescent. Neither of these beers have a ton of bubbles to them. This one's also at 5%. Let's try this. Let's keep moving on though. I could talk about these beers all day long. All right, this next one from them I'm really intrigued by. Not gonna lie. This is also from Doña Fermenta. This is the Galaxy Gris. It's an Indian Pale Ale with Pinot grape skins, or Pinot Gris grape skins, excuse me. So that's blowing my mind when I first saw it on the shelves. I had the other two in the basket. I was heading out the door, and then I saw this one also sitting there. I was like, why the heck are you using Pinot Gris grape skins to brew an IPA or anything in that matter? And then it dawned on me that, you know, wild ales is like or wild fermented ales, wild yeasts are a big thing, and grape skin attracts yeast, all right? Generally, when you're making wine, grape skin is going to be used for a couple different things, mostly flavor, body, and then, of course, most importantly in red wine, color. That's where you're going to extract your color for your wine. Well, Pinot Gris obviously is a white grape, Pinot Gris or Pinot Grigio, a lot of you will know for it is. It's very light. It doesn't spend a ton of time on its leaves. It's not going to get a ton of flavor or body from its grape skins. Pinot Gris is what you see is what you get. A lot of, you know, lemon, tropical fruits, depending on where you are. Light, crisp, refreshing. That's what people who drink Pinot Grigio are looking for. A little bit of acidity. But the grape skins you're attracting wild yeasts with. And I wonder if they were using the grape skins or the yeast off the grape skins for this. And that's something I would have to ask them if I ever met them. I said, I'm thinking through this. I apologize if this is kind of a weird one, but I'm just kind of working my way through this thing. I don't really know any of these beers. Fascinated. I think that's what it has to be, is that all about the yeast on the grape skin. It smells, I mean, that's a hazy right there. I mean, that's a beautiful IPA on the nose. India, Galaxy Gris. So I'm assuming, yeah, Galaxy Mosaic hops are in there with the Pinot Gris grape skins. Definitely getting the Mosaic, getting the Galaxy, you're getting the pine, you're getting the citrus. Wow, that's really good. Okay. I mean, that's an IPA. Piney, resiny, but there's this must. There's not a lot of flavor. You're not extracting any like light apple skin or anything like that. I would think Pinot Gris is the only thing you could get flavor profile, so I bet it's the yeast. That's a really well-made IPA. I'm so confused how the wine plays into it. I'll find out another time. All right, the next one we're gonna do, it's fascinating brewery. I'm gonna have to look into these guys more. Dunyer Fermenta, opened in 2021. Very, very intrigued. South Loop of Chicago. I'll be down there. This next one's from a brewery I know a lot more about. It's actually a great brewery. The first brewery really opened in, for, I gotta say, 100 years or so. In Evanston, Illinois, just north of Chicago here. They opened in 2013. Josh Gilbert, another classic story. Josh Gilbert was an architect, was a home brewer. In 2008, when the crash happened, kind of wanted to pivot to something else. He decided he was going to take his love of beer and turn it into a business. And sure enough, Temperance Beer Company was born. Temperance Beer Company up in Evanston, Illinois. The Temperance is named after Temperance movement, I would imagine, specifically because the Temperance movement was really a big to do in Evanston, Illinois back in the day. I believe it was in the 1850s, 1860s when Northwestern was opened in Evanston, Illinois. The Temperance movement helped pass a zero alcohol sales ban in Evanston, Illinois to save the children, so to speak. The temperance movement, if you're not familiar with it, started in the early 1800s. It was a movement where people favored beer and they favored wine over hard liquor, mainly because there was less alcohol involved. And if people were going to drink, initially if people were going to drink, they wanted to drink something with less alcohol because the hard alcohol they felt was leading to domestic violence, issues at home, issues with other people, issues with the police and whatnot. That's where the temperance movement started, and then it increasingly got a little bit more and more aggressive, and then wanting to ban all alcohol. And actually, the temperance movement led to what was known as Prohibition here in the United States, obviously. This is the Temperance Beer Company's Madder Rose. This is a tart rosé ale with strawberries and hibiscus. No grape juice in this one, but I wanted to do a rosé ale because it's also a style, and they consider it a hybrid in the same sense as they would one of these hybrid wine beers, because just the flavor profile. These are made with the flavor profiles of what you're going to find in a rosé wine. Rosé is very, very interesting. Immediately when you say rosé, a lot of people will think of white Zinfandel, big, sweet, and just quite frankly disgusting. But no, rosé can be really intricate. It can be light. It can be minerally. It can be acidic. It can be tart. It can be dry. It can be fruit forward. Things you will find a lot of times in there: floral components, hibiscus, and then strawberry. You get a lot of strawberry berry flavors, melon flavors in a typical rosé, in a lot of rosés. So let's give this a shot. Very intrigued by this one too. See, that's really good. Madder Rose, I believe it's named after, this is interesting, I didn't even think about this, but there's a band in like the early 90s named Madder Rose. I wonder if that's where he got the name. I'm sure it says Madder Rosé for the name of the beer. There's a yeasty quality to this. Tart, hibiscus stands out, the strawberry, it's like under-ripened strawberries, which I think adds to the tartness of it, whereas in the Fria Blanc that we had was that grandma strawberry jam. The Madder Rosé is just tart, under-ripened strawberries. I would crush this on a patio, to be honest with you. If it was a nice hot day out, this would be a great beer to drink. Although it is high in alcohol for what it tastes like. It's a 7% ABV, so crushing a few of these might not be the best idea, or it could lead to a great day. You never know. All right. To make this a little more fun, if you made it this far, the dump off from all 4 beers, we're going to give this a try here. Why not, right? Oh, there's a lot going on here. I may have just started something. That actually was delicious. All right, there is my rambling, crazy thoughts, what do you want to call it, on the hybrid, wine beer hybrid movement that has now hit Chicago. 2 examples of breweries doing that style. Please get out there and try these things. They're very, very intriguing. I'm sure as the years go by, just as IPAs did, they're going to evolve and become just that much better. But the winner of the day, by far, this Fria Franc, man. This beer crushes. That beer crushes. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your weekend. I have nothing to close out with, but cheers.